こでいいのかな、この古いお城の中で。玉座に。
From simply looking at screenshots, you'd think Little Witch Nobeta is merely a cute anime game featuring the most adorable witch and her cat companion. However, looks can be deceiving as Little Witch Nobeta is most likely not the type of game you'd be expecting. Although it does feature the cutest witch I've seen, Nobeta is surprisingly a weird mix of Dark Souls and a third-person shooter, but with magic spells. It's also pretty difficult at times and somewhat dark, even almost scary, all that while still remaining oddly cute. Despite its cuteness, Little Witch Nobeta is not much of a looker. You'll immediately notice that the game looks rather basic, with bland, somewhat empty environments that reminded me of a PlayStation Vita game. You'll spend the majority of the game inside the same castle, exploring hallways and rooms that all look similar, occasionally offering a bit of variety with lava pits and crystal-filled caves. There's an outside area as well, which was a breath of fresh air, although it only comes in near the end of your adventure. There's also not too much explanation as to why exactly you're exploring this gigantic monster-filled castle. You play as Nobeta, whom you don't really know anything about, as the game starts when you enter the mysterious castle, inside of which Nobeta meets with a spunky black cat who will be guiding you through the game. There isn't much story beside Nobeta's interactions with the black cat, and you won't really know why you're fighting your way through all of these animated evil dolls until the very end of the game, but I actually kinda like this air of mystery around the game, so it's okay, I guess. The whole game feels very cryptic, and nothing is really explained well, even the magic and puzzles, so you'll mostly have to figure it out on your own. Nobeta can hit enemies with her staff, but her best method of attacking is her magic spells, which strangely feels like you're playing a shooter. Although you start with one type of magic, you'll find more as you play through the game, and by the end of it you'll be able to shoot fire, ice, and thunder magic. Each spell has its own perks, but the best is definitely the ice magic, which feels like a powerful machine gun. You can also charge your spells for a more powerful attack, but these leave you vulnerable while you are slowly charging. Although the shooting element feels a bit out of place at first, once I got used to the controls, I found it pretty fun. There's also some light puzzles to solve using your magic, but unfortunately I found these to be poorly explained or not at all explained, and more annoying than anything else. What I liked the most about the game was simply exploring the castle, as it is filled with secret hidden rooms and treasure chests. It gets a little bit repetitive as everything looks the same for the most part, but the castle has an interesting layout, so I found it fun to explore and try to find its secrets. Although the game shares some similarities with Souls-like games, like how you level up at statues using souls, playing on normal the game is not very hard. The enemies can take many hits to defeat, and they are sometimes very annoying, but grinding in the game is very easy as you never lose anything when you die. There's a higher difficulty to play on if you're looking for more of a challenge, but personally I found the difficulty just right to be fun while not frustrating. The bosses on the other end can be more difficult, although nothing impossible if you level up properly. The only boss I had a problem with was one where you were required to jump on very narrow platforms over lava, where one small misstep would send you to your death instantly. The game features a few parts where platforming is required, but Nobeta is no 3D platformer and absolutely does not play like a platformer, as the controls are more akin to a first-person shooter, so the forced platforming was a bit frustrating, especially in that boss battle which required a very high amount of jumping precision. Aside from this small annoyance and the poorly explained puzzle sections, I enjoyed most of my time with Nobeta. It's a strange game that I did not expect to like, but surprisingly I found myself having fun shooting the enemies with magic, exploring the castle for treasure chests, and battling the large bosses. It's not the prettiest game, and I wish there was more to explore than this giant empty castle, but it's a cute game when it comes to the characters and cutscenes, without it being too cute, as there is a sense of dread lurking over the game, with enemies waiting for you in every dark corners of the castle. This air of mystery kept me intrigued and invested up until the end, and I don't regret giving this game a try. It's not for everyone as it's very niche, but I would recommend it if you're looking for a short but different kind of game.